During this most recent and brutal bear market, few cryptos have struggled harder than the apparent Ethereum killers such as Solana, Avalanche, and Cardano. However, there's one crypto that is sat perfectly and potentially offers us one of the best opportunities for investment right now. Cosmos, with its Atom token, has been called one of the most exciting and innovative platforms by the Ethereum founder Vitalik Buterin. In this video, we're going to look into how this project works, how it's different from other traditional layer ones, and the recent updates that could have this turning into a thriving ecosystem. Hit the like button and let's get into it. Now guys, I haven't talked about Cosmos and its Atom token very recently because of a number of different issues. I genuinely wasn't that excited about this as an investment opportunity in that there was a number of issues with the tokenomics for the Atom token itself, which didn't really offer much other than a bit of utility. Now, all other layer ones out there are all based on basically the original, which is Ethereum, with maybe a bit of a change to update a few different bits and pieces that were going wrong with the Ethereum system, such as maybe the scalability issues, which led to kind of problems with the speed and the costs, etc. Cosmos has not only come in to solve these issues, but is also working on another huge issue, which is interoperability. Now, you could probably say that Cosmos, instead of being a layer 1 blockchain, is actually more of a layer 0, more comparable with systems like Polkadot. Now, Cosmos, theoretically, you could call an internet of blockchains, allowing seamlessly different blockchains to interact within the Cosmos ecosystem. This is very exciting because interoperability is a very big issue within cryptocurrency. In the past, you've had to have various different bridging systems between like Ethereum and say Avalanche, or Ethereum and Cardano, and this has led to a number of issues where you can see hacks taking place, which have lost hundreds of millions of dollars. Now, obviously, as we look into the future and tokens hoping to be picked up by major institutional firms and things like that are not going to be able to do so if they have these kind of weaknesses in terms of their security. Now, Cosmos is effectively basically like these hubs where you have various different zones that are connected to it, as well as that various other blockchains such as Ethereum and Bitcoin built into those hubs. Now, what's also very important about Cosmos is its ability to create chain apps. And a chain app allows you, if you have your own project, to build your own tailored blockchain suitable for that platform. DYDX is a project that has recently done that, and we're going to look into that in more detail slightly later on. Now, why might this be useful for a particular project and why might they need it? Well, there's particular things and different aspects within each blockchain. For example, Ethereum is highly secure but lacks scalability. Solana has been proven to be the fastest blockchain out there, but also sometimes has lacked security in the past. So it wouldn't be great if you could select all of the best different variable parts from each of these different blockchains and then build it into your own blockchain consensus, whether you're building a GameFi project, whether you're building an exchange, whether you're building a SocialFi platform. And this all comes from within the Cosmos ecosystem. Now, this is all powered by something called the Tendermint consensus. And I know, guys, many of you who are subscribed will understand I like to break down and simplify projects as best I can. So I'm doing my very best with this particular project, but it is a slightly more technical one. And that leads us to our first kind of con, perhaps, of this entire project, is that it is a more technical project. More technical projects as to, in terms of investors coming in, especially retail investors like us, are a bit more off-putting because they tend to make us think that maybe it's a bit too confusing, we don't quite understand it, and therefore we're not going to invest in it. That is something to be aware of as we look down later on to whether or not this is a coin for us to be investing in. Now, the BFT, which is a Byzantine fault tolerance, effectively means that it allows the blockchain to still be able to function with a variety of different things that have been maybe bad actors or other problems going wrong. It means that it can still work to a certain degree even with other problems in the network, and this is really important because it helps it to run way more efficiently. Now, it's important to note that you can also write applications in various different languages, and the Tendermint core will replicate it in machines across the world. So basically you can go in, create whatever platform it is, and because of its interoperability you can build it across chain without any issues at all. What else makes Cosmos unique is its SDK, which is its software development kit. Now, I know that all sounds a bit too technical. Let's think about it. If you're a developer and you are learning to use code to be able to write a program on whatever platform out there, you might be able to use JavaScript, you might be able to use C++ or something like that, which is like a programming language. Then some new blockchain technology you've never even heard of launches and then asks you and encourages you to try and come and build something on their platform. You then go across to try and build it on their platform and you suddenly like, well, I can't use this because I don't know how to use it. You know how difficult it is when you switch from using a Mac computer to using a Windows computer, for example. This is like that, but 10 times harder. However, Cosmos is slightly different in that it has one of the leading SDK or software development kits out there. That means that if you are a developer, you can roll into the system and they're going to lead you through the process to be able to create these cross-chain interoperable dApps on the Cosmos ecosystem. Now, what they'll be able to provide you with is a custom blockchain. That which we've already talked about earlier, which was the chain app. And here you can use a bunch of pre-made, pre-built models, or you can customize each of the different modules in order to get the very best out of it. And it was this that caused DYDX, that major crypto exchange that's going from strength to strength, to move off of Ethereum and get built onto the Cosmos ecosystem. In the past as well, you've seen other platforms such as the Binance Smart Chain, Kronos from the Crypto.com exchange, and as well as that, Terra Luna, which obviously we know what happened to that, but still was chosen to be built on the Cosmos ecosystem. You can also launch your brand new blockchain with various testings and other different bits and pieces on the ecosystem, and then you can connect to other Cosmos blockchains, which is really important because you can create this blockchain that belongs to you and still be able to link it into Ethereum, Avalanche, Cosmos ecosystem, etc. Now, why would it be important to be built on an interchain ecosystem? Well, guys, if you're arriving new into crypto and you've ever received funds on like one particular platform and then you suddenly try to send it somewhere else and you realize it doesn't work because it has to be done over a chain that you don't have access to and it's all really complex and difficult, well, imagine that scaled up onto something that requires to be able to send information consistently across different blockchains. You then have to come up with a system to be able to interact through bridging processes and everything like that. If you ever use Base over on Coinbase for like bridging and things like that, then you'll understand it's not as simple as it might sound initially. And this is probably where we see Cosmos stepping in and potentially stealing a lot of market share from other coins out there. And because it's all open source through those libraries that we've just talked about with the SDK stuff, that also heavily incentivizes developers to come and use the platform. The IBC, or the Internet of Blockchains, is then run to provide things like staking, governance, and other things like that. And you can stake Atom tokens onto this blockchain for around 9% annual rewards. Now, previously, that was one of the only real uses of this particular coin, and this is what led many to believe that maybe it wasn't the most exciting and important token out there. However, now we're starting to see the development of app chains with likes of DYDX and other platforms coming in to use this particular blockchain, and you will start to see that the utility of the Atom token has started to increase all the time, and this is really important. We're also now starting to see new projects such as Tenet, which we talked about earlier on this year, being brought into the ecosystem, and Tenet has been built on Cosmos. And now we have the Atom token being used for staking, which provides liquidity to the Cosmos ecosystem. But Tenet also makes the most of this ability to hoover up all the other liquidity out there. Tons of other liquidity exists on lots of different chains, and that can then be staked through the Cosmos ecosystem to provide liquidity. And this allows for liquid staking to take place. Now, you may have heard of LSD, or liquid staking derivatives, and this is one of the more complex, but one of the more hyped up opportunities that are coming into the space right now. Now, if you've ever heard of staking, effectively it means locking away tokens for an extended period of time in order to earn a reward. But let's say you lock away $1,000, you now can't use your $1,000 for anything else, which is a bit of a waste because there is tons and tons of liquidity that's being locked away. However, through platforms like Tenet and through the Cosmos ecosystem, this is going to free up all of those stake tokens off of various different chains, remember, because it's being fed through that one single hub, and this can then be put to use for other things, whether that's lending or whatever. This encourages a huge amount more functionality and efficiency from the ecosystem. Now, because you've got platforms like DYDX being built on top of Cosmos, and I've seen a load of volume being sucked up by DYDX as we've seen Bitcoin and the others climbing up recently, I think that this could have a hugely positive impact on the Cosmos ecosystem in general. Remember, if you go and look at other platforms that have been performing well, often the apps underneath them also will be driving them to success. This is something that we're now seeing with DYDX coming into the space, as well as that Tenet and other blue chip launches choosing to be built on Cosmos. New benefits have been built into their tokenomics, which offer far more opportunity for further adoption, scalability, and even further interoperability. So as you might have started to understand, although it is difficult and complex, I do recommend going and reading more about this particular project, because it's definitely one that you should have on your radar, and one that perhaps I wish I'd covered a little earlier on in this channel. You might start to see potentially there is some interesting upside for a project like this. Now, there are some downsides. There is obviously other competitors in this space, and that doesn't necessarily help things, and potentially will lead us to maybe not seeing the level of success that we could do if there was no one else offering something like this. But the fact that they do what they do in a fairly unique and interesting way, and they are starting to capture more of that liquid staking derivatives marketplace, it definitely has caught more of my attention. I also look into the chart, and whilst recently we've seen layer ones such as Solana exploding towards the upside, we really haven't seen much getting started from Atom right now. At the moment, it is an inflationary token, and the rate of inflation has been quite high, but we will start to see that reduce a little bit as we move into the new tokenomic structure. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. If you weren't already aware, which hopefully you would be if you were subscribed, which around 50% of you watching this video are, so I don't have a clue what the other 50% of you might be doing right now, apart from subscribing. Come on. You will know that I focus more heavily on charts, okay? We know the ecosystem behind it is pretty good. We're starting to gain interest in terms of a community, something I like. And that roadmap, the fact that we're not perfect right now, I'm happy with that. As long as we've got a roadmap that's going to iron out the creases, that's another reason that we can see growth to look forward to. Important for investors. And as we look at the chart, we're right down here, guys. This is an area of the market that we have basically been kind of like retesting ever since this bottom that came in sort of June of last year. And you can see what's happening right this second. If we zoom out to a weekly, we'll get a bit more clarity. Now, in terms of a pure kind of like analytical chart position pattern thing going on right now, guys, it looks absolutely perfect, okay? I'm not saying that this is necessarily going to be an absolute moon boy cryptocurrency at all, but if you were looking to accumulate it based off of what I've talked about just then, can't really go far wrong looking at this chart. As you can see down here, okay, you see it link up, and I want to show you this chart pattern because it's a key one. Here we have the last dip that we ran into. Now, this really is what we would call a buy zone. How do I know it's a buy zone? Well, look what happens last time we enter into this space. Okay, we dipped all the way down, and then we ripped out 192% in a few weeks. Now what we have is basically another push out of this area here, and then we start to slowly kind of lose interest as the crypto market subsides and gets less interesting. We get pushed into here once we have a pump out. We're now in it again. We form a very nice looking double bottom pattern. We have a few different areas to pay attention to. What do we have? This is the first one. We know what happened last time, okay? So it's in a buy zone. One big tick. The second thing is it's in a very bullish descending wedge, which is broken out of. It's then retested, and now it's starting to show strength. Second big plus. Third big plus, running into a double bottom. And also, if you wanted to put this on top, Bitcoin is exploding towards the upside. Crypto is starting to move forward, and tokens like this are yet to show their hand. That's more exciting for me than coins that already have showed their hands, which are what everyone else is talking about. Okay, we want to look at what's going to be next. And this is one I have my eye on. Now, guys, if you're looking to pick up coins, such as the Atom token, or Ethereum, or Bitcoin, or Casper, whatever it is, and you're trying to buy them on Coinbase or whatever because you're based in the US and it's really difficult, well, you need to find a new way, and this is the very best way I can recommend, and it's using MEXC, because you get 0% spot maker trader fees, okay? That means if I want to change Ethereum to USDT, it costs me nothing, okay? And the fees for trading futures are really small, but don't bother trading futures if you've not done it before, because it's risky. This platform also has over 3,000 different tokens, which is ludicrous, okay? So anything you pretty much want, you're going to be able to find over on MEXC. Because the percentages are so low, the commissions I get are absolutely horrible. So if you trade like $2 million, then maybe I might have enough to buy myself another pack of chewing gum, okay? I'm not doing this for the money, but because you guys deserve better than using things like Coinbase. And if you are in the US and you struggle to use different exchanges because of whoever's watching you not letting you go and use different websites, well, you need to use a NordVPN. Link down below in the description. That's a special link. You'll get 4 months free if you use that link, and then after then it's like a price of a cup of coffee. Now, what Nord will allow you to do is, one, use exchanges overseas, where you can then save massively and not have to pay those insane fees you pay on Coinbase. Not only that, it's double encrypted, so it will keep you secure. No one can spy on your wallets. No one can watch you while you're doing your dirty little crypto trades and all that good stuff. And that will keep you safe and secure from hackers, etc. in the future, and is an absolutely essential piece of kit to be using. I highly recommend it. It's the #1 VPN in the world, and I myself have been using it every day for the last few years. So it's an absolute no-brainer. This is one absolutely essential tool if you're serious about making money and keeping your money in cryptocurrency. Guys, if you enjoyed that video, do me a favor, hit that like button. If you're new and you haven't done this, it baffles me why you wouldn't have already done this. I'm begging you. Subscribe. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.